Assalamualaikum everyone. Good morning, good evening. Sorry. Thank you for all for joining us today. So my name is Nur Fazihah binti Muhammad. I'm become your moderator for today's session. And let's start our webinar today with a recitation of Surah Al-Fatihah. Okay, good. Amin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to welcome you all to our Takaful webinar session 1. So today we have with us a distinguished speaker who is an expert in the field of Takaful. And before that, not to forget, we encourage our participants to ask any questions during the presentation, and also you can use a chat box to submit questions, and we will do our best to answer them, and maybe can directly ask the speaker. Before we begin, let me introduce our esteemed speaker, which is Associate Professor Dr. Marhanum, Cik Muhammad Salleh. She is a senior lecturer at International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, and also Shariah Committee of Takaful, SYARIKAT Takaful Malaysia, and Co-op Bank PERTAMA. So she also has an extensive experience in the Takaful and has contributed significantly to the development of and growth of this important sector. So how doing, Doctor?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm also pretty good. I'm also hoping that our participants also are doing very well. Okay. Today, Doctor will share about the roles and responsibility of Shariah advisory bodies in the Takaful industry in Malaysia. Before that, just a brief about this topic. You know that the Takaful industry in Malaysia is guided by the principle of Shariah, and which governs the operation and activity of Islamic insurance providers. And to ensure the compliance with these principles, Dr. Shariah Advisory Body play a crucial roles in overseeing and advising the Takaful operator. And this body also are responsible for ensuring that the Takaful operation and products are accordance with Sharia principles. So without further please welcome to Doctor to elaborate in detail about the roles and responsibility of Sharia advisory body in Takaful industry in Malaysia. Please, Doctor.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Thank you to Miss Moderator, Miss Nur Fazihah Muhammad, for give a brief introductions on this topic, and thank you to Ustaz Takaful Academy. I'm really impressed with their works and jobs to try to enhance and try to contribute to the industry from the academic perspective. I'm so actually I feel proud, and also I'm impressed with the job of this academy. Okay, and also I would like to thank you for the participants today for your willingness to join the sessions today, inshallah, the first series of Takaful for this year. And I am Marhanum. I'm from UIA. Inshallah, our topic today will be the roles and responsibilities of the Sharia advisory bodies in the Malaysian Takaful industry. Okay. Basically the word of Sharia advisory bodies and the Sharia committees, Sharia advisor is it is not a fixed term. It is intangibly used by the industry, by the company, and then what I would like to highlight here, we have a two level of the Sharia advisory. The first level, the highest level will be at the Bank Negara level that we call Sharia Advisory Council, SAC. and the second level will be at the individual banks or is individual financial institutions, bank or the takaful. Then that's why that's we call Sharia advisory bodies or Sharia committee, Sharia SAB, something like that, Sharia advisory board. Okay, so now I want to we will discuss on the Sharia advisory bodies at the institutions levels. Okay, just try to be clear with that lah. Kan takut apa confused. Okay, so can you see my slide now?
Yes, Doctor. Yes.
Boleh? Okay, okay. Okay, so the key highlight today will be I will give overview on the history of the takaful. Okay, because we want to see where the takaful emerged first, and then why it is exists, and then after that we scrutinize into the governance frameworks where the functions of the Sharia advisory bodies was there. Okay, the frameworks that we have in Malaysian's financial institutions industry. So after that, I will discuss on the rules, details of the rules of the Sharia committee or Sharia advisory bodies. Okay, as highlighted by the regulator. Okay, through IFSA and through the policy introduced by Bank Negara Malaysia. And also, I will be sharing on the rules of the Sharia Committee or the Sharia Advisory Councils from the Quran and Sunnah or from the Islamic perspective, to whom they are accountable and answerable for. Okay, insyaAllah. So, for the history of the takaful, I believe that it is known or everybody here because we are in the same field. The history of the takaful exists because of the practice of the conventional insurance is deemed not comply with the Sharia. Okay, and then the existence of the elements of riba, gharar, and maisir. Okay, and then from that practice, the Majlis Fuqaha have made discussions in Jeddah, and they come up with yes, the conventional insurance that was practiced at that times is deemed not permitted or not comply with the Sharia, and we have to come up with the Islamic alternative to the conventional insurance. Okay, from that, the Malaysian government at that times in 1980s have started to establish task force to think and then try to plan what are the alternatives that we can offer to the public to cater for their risk or financial planning. Okay, so from that effort, 1 year or 2 years after that, so Bank Negara Malaysia have established the first takaful operator in 1984, which is known as Syarikat Takaful Malaysia Berhad, and at the same times, they actually have successfully announced the first Takaful Act in the world. Okay, even though Takaful was started in Sudan in 1960s, in 1960s in Sudan, but we are the first one that successfully introduced the first Takaful Act, very comprehensive act in the world in 1984. At the same time, we established the first takaful operator in Malaysia. Okay, we should be proud of with this achievement. And until now, I can see that the effort by our government is a very very strong effort, okay, to support the Islamic business, Islamic financial industry, the Islamic banks, and also the takaful. Okay, so from 1984 and until now, there are the emergings of this industry is very impressive. Okay, and then the government, the central banks, okay, have made many efforts, okay, to enhance the policy, to introduce the guideline to the company or to the business how to practice the takaful to comply with the Sharia. Okay, and in 1929 we can see that there is a framework of Sharia governance, okay, that introduced by the central banks to further strengthen the practice of the takaful by the operators in Malaysia. Okay. So, what are the functions, the key functions in the industry? Okay, so among them are, we have a Sharia advisor or the Sharia advisory bodies that have, that actually hold big responsibilities, okay, big responsibilities to ensure the business is run according to the Sharia spirits from A to Z. Okay, from the structure, from the idea until the marketing and until after service to the customer. Okay, okay, that one is for the history of the takaful. Okay, so okay, and then to further highlight the business is comply with the Sharia and do not follow the steps of the conventional insurance. Okay, so now we are or the government, the regulator, always strengthening on the governance framework of the business. Okay, so the first effort that was done by our regulator at that time is in 2011, okay, through the introductions of Sharia governance framework, okay, for Islamic financial institutions, not only for the takaful, but also for other institutions in this industry, okay, including banks lah. And then in 2019, okay, in 2019, as I was mentioned just now, so this framework is further strengthened through the introductions of Sharia governance policy documents. Okay, so these policy documents actually highlight the roles of key functions in the organizations. So basically, this framework led to the institutionalizations of governance structure, okay, the policies and the process to promote end-to-end the Sharia compliance in Islamic finance operation. Okay, so the business of takaful, since the previous times, we see there is we practice the concept of cooperations, mutual assistance. Okay, and then from during the Prophet times, they practice the system of diyah, okay, blood money, kan. So from the not so serious practice of the takaful, now it becomes serious, then we call it as takaful tijari. It is a business, so that is why we need to give a very serious concerns. Okay, that's the thing that was done by our governments. They give a very serious concerns to the business of the takaful, so that all the parties that involved, especially the public, especially the participants that involved in the schemes, are fairly treated and they receive their rights properly. Okay, so why the Sharia governance? Okay, Sharia governance is very important, okay, to govern the business itself. Why it is important? Okay, that is okay, the first thing is to gain the public trust or the public confidence. So how the public can trust the business, can trust the industry, the takaful industry. Okay, because takaful it is not a business of buying and selling the protections. It is a business that promotes the Islamic spirit. Okay, that the business that promotes the culture of assistance, brotherhood, kan? Okay, so that is why when we can practice the systems betul towards the Islamic spirits, so that can build the public trust. So inside the business, the company, the organs, okay, they need to practice lah, practice the Sharia entirely. Okay, that's the things that promoted by the governance framework, which is the Sharia compliant culture. Okay, Sharia compliant culture, not to duplicate the existing conventional business, but we actually promoting and we actually dakwah, we promote and we attract the culture of uh, Shariah lah, the Islamic culture. Okay, not only to the products but also to the overall structure of the company. Okay, and then the second one is effective Sharia governance arrangements that are well integrated with business and risk strategies of the Islamic financial institutions. Okay, so to run the business, all the elements in the business, the operations, the risk management, Okay, so they need to be practiced, or they need to integrate with the Sharia elements, not to separate between the two Sharia only on the contract and the business and risk will follow the conventional. No, we do not want that. So the business, the risk strategies need also to comply with the Sharia lah. Okay, so the Sharia governance framework also highlight the accountabilities of board of director, the Sharia committee, and also the other key organs of the institutions. So that is why in the SGPD, the Sharia governance policy documents that that are introduced by the central banks, they actually this policy highlight very well in details all the tasks and responsibilities of these key organs in the company. Okay. And then the Sharia committee's objective to reinforce sound decision-making process and robustness. Okay, and robustness of the so the Sharia governance also will ensure that the process of decision makings that done by the Sharia the Sharia committee is done very well, is done according to it is structured very well, and the decision is not influenced by the business. Okay, the decision is independent decisions, and they have to uphold the right of all parties that involve in the business. Okay, so that is why Sharia governance is very important. When we take care all of these elements, so at the end of the day, we will gain the public trust. Okay, so how to gain the public trust? So the internal process, the policy, and then the roles of the Sharia committee is very important. Yeah. Okay, so these are the governance structure. Okay, the governance structure that we have in the industry. Okay, so we have a board of director here, and the Sharia committee is is standing, okay, here to advise the board and to advise the management. Okay, so they are the independent body. Okay, it cannot be influenced by the management or by the board. Okay, so that is why the existence of the Sharia committee here is to ensure all the decision made by the board, all the effort done by the management, and also all the instruction given by the key functions here is accordance with the Sharia. Okay, so we go to the establishments of the Sharia committee. Okay, here in Malaysia, in the Malaysian financial industry, we have a very I can say that our regulator been so much supportive compared to other country that they have received they receive a very minimal support from the governments, and then no effort, and then no incentive by the government to enhance the Islamic business. But here in Malaysia, the government, the Central Bank of Malaysia have done very much. Okay, so in IFSA 2013, okay, IFSA 2013 have highlight in Division 2 to ensure the Sharia governance of the business. So each institutions need to establish the committee, the Sharia committee, become their advisor and become their to monitor, to advise, and also to be a point that the business can refer to when they are facing any issues, okay, any issues related to the Sharia. So this is a mandate lah from the central bank for each institution. That is why when we can see now at Islamic banks or the Takaful, so they actually have groups of the Sharia bodies, Sharia committee. What are the duties of the Sharia committee? Okay, so a Sharia committee under paragraph 32 IFSA 2013, okay, a Sharia committee and every member of the Sharia committee shall have such duties and functions set out in any standard as may be specified by the bank under subparagraph 29 bracket 2. Okay, so the subparagraph 29 bracket 2 Okay, so bank negara, the bank here is bank negara lah, may also specify standards relating to any of the following matters which does not require the ascertainment of the the Islamic law. So the Sharia governance, including functions and duties of the board of directors, so senior officers and members of the Sharia committee of any institutions in relation to comply with Sharia, fit and proper requirements or disqualifications of a member of a Sharia committee and internal Sharia compliant functions and any other matters in relation to the business. So from IFSA 2013, so the central bank introduced the Sharia governance policy document to further scrutinize the functions of the Sharia committee, which also including top management, board of director and other key functions to ensure that the whole business of the Takaful or the banks is comply with the Sharia. So we cannot simply say that okay, the Islamic banks or the Takaful just mirror to the conventional counterparts. No. Okay, so because the effort and the stages, the policy, okay, all the standards offered by the central bank have ensured, okay, all levels of the process of the business towards offering and delivering their products to the publics is actually comply with the Sharia. Okay. Okay. So far okay. Fasiha, everybody okay?
Nampak okay, Doktor?
Okay. Hopefully tak terlalu laju lah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so now we want to um, discuss the roles of the Sharia committee. Okay, so when we look at if we read the Sharia governance policy documents, okay, there are key functions, there are bodies or the parties that highlight in the policy, okay, which including board of director. But just for today, we detail out on the roles of the Sharia committee lah. Okay, it is not just a committee to endorse the product, just merely a committee, a normal committee that their responsibilities is to approve, advise. But I think beyond that, okay, because this committee actually responsible to ensure the business comply with the Sharia. If let's say any parts of the business that do not comply with the Sharia, they will be responsible. Okay, the first one, they will be responsible to the in this world, be responsible to the regulator, and second one to be responsible to the court, because this is related to the Islam, to the Sharia, the Islamic law. Okay, but we discuss here the one that been highlighted by the regulator lah, because this industry is well regulated. Okay, so whatever the decisions, whatever the actions done by any parties that responsible to conduct the business, so they will be answered, they should be answered to the regulator lah. So in this case or in this world, our regulator is the Central Bank of Malaysia, and the regulator, which is the leader, the father of the industry, have come up with the standards, with the guidelines. They guide the business, they guide the industry very well. So the thing is, the people in the industry need to follow the guideline. Okay, so here the Bank Negara have highlighted 10 key responsibilities of the Sharia committee. Okay, and they highlight it as a standard. Okay, standard means it is compulsory. Okay, so we can see these 10 key responsibilities in the SCPD lah. Okay, Sharia Governance Policy Document. Okay, so basically when the Bank Negara come up with guideline with the standards, they will put whether it is a standards, okay, S means standards, G or as a guideline, it is optional. Okay, so here 10.1, the Sharia committee must have a charter that sets out the mandate, responsibilities and procedures of the Sharia committee, including matters reserved for its decisions or advice. Standard 10.1. Okay, standard here it is compulsory. It means that each of the individual takaful operator, they have to set up a policy, special policy that highlight the responsibilities, okay, and the procedures of the responsibilities and tasks of the Sharia committee for their organizations, for their business. Okay, so the SGPD becomes the general guideline, but the individual operator, individual company, they have to come up with their own internal policy specific on the Sharia committee rules and responsibilities. Okay, so that's the first thing that they need to do when they receive the mandate from the Central Bank of Malaysia. Okay, so and then standard number 2, standard 10.2, the Sharia committee has the responsibility to provide objective and sound advice to the Islamic financial institutions. So in our context, the Takaful operator, to ensure that it aims and operations, business, affairs and activities are in compliance with the Sharia. Okay, so many things here. Aims, the objective. Operations, all operations. Product risk, underwriting activities, risk management, all the actuarial activities and the claims process, the product structurings, how to handle the customer complaints, how to handle the human resource and all activities, including annual dinners, everything. Okay, so that is under responsibility of the Sharia committee to ensure all of this is conducted complying with the Sharia. So it is not a small thing, but it's a big. Okay. And okay, so in detail, this include providing a decisions or advice to the IFI or to the Takaful operator on the applications of any rulings of the SSC or standards on Sharia matters that are applicable to the operations, business, affairs and activities of the IFI. Okay, so decision, first make decisions and advice to the operator on the applications of any rulings. So SSC stand for Sharia Advisory Council. So this council stand at the bank negara level. Okay, they are the highest advisor for the Islamic financial industry in Malaysia. So usually SAC will come up with a rulings, with a resolutions of if anything happens related any Sharia issues that happen in the industry, SSC will do a shura or meeting. They come up with the rulings and resolutions. So what the rules of Sharia committee? So they have to advise, they have to understand these rulings. Okay, they have to respect the rulings of the SSC because SSC's their positions is basically under Bank Negara, the father. Okay, ni Abang Long ni, Abang Sulong. Okay, so whatever rules and resolution made or offered by the SSC, it is responsibility of the Sharia committee to respect and to discuss and also to explain these rulings to the institutions, to the company. Okay, and advise the company accordingly. Okay, so basically it's not includes one aspect of the business, but overall operations, business affairs and activities. Even though the campaign made by the Takaful, the Sharia committee responsible to ensure the campaign, the picture that is used, all the wordings that is mentioned in the poster is comply with the Sharia. It's from the small things until the big things. Okay, and second one, providing a decisions or advice on matters which require a reference to be made to the SAC. Okay, so in this case, if let's say they are facing any issues related to the claims, related to the participant, like for example, the business, the participant business somehow change to becomes non-compliant. Before this, the business of the customer, okay, the business here means that the products that is offered to protect the business of the customer, kan? Okay, so for example, at the beginning, when they sign the contract, the business comply with the Sharia, just business of selling a chicken, for example. But when it comes to the renewal period, so the owner of the business change from selling of chicken to selling pork. So at that times, what need to be done. So the company usually asks advice or opinions from the Sharia committee whether we can renew or we should stop renewing these protections to this business. Okay, so it is responsibility. Okay, so they have to they have to guide, okay, the Takaful operator whether they should or they shouldn't okay, renew, and they can refer to the SSC, Sharia Advisory Council, any rules and resolutions made by the SSC, so they can use it and advise the company accordingly. Okay. Okay, and then next one is providing a decisions or advice on the operations, business affairs and activities. So we can see here from A until D and until the rest of the guideline ni. So it is including everything actually of the business of Takaful from A until Z, operations, business, the affairs. So this one providing decisions that and advice that may trigger a Sharia non-compliant event. Okay, may trigger. Trigger means may attract the element of Sharia non-compliant event. For example, if the company want to organize one event of annual dinner, and then they want to invite a singer, singers, okay. So they have to seek advice from the Sharia committee and advice and approval whether this list of singers is comply with the Sharia, is approved or not. Okay, and then the how the event is organized is okay or not. Okay, so this also if it is not monitored properly, and if let's say the Sharia committee just let the business do anything that they want, that may trigger the issue of Sharia non-compliance. Maybe they want to invite the singer that is not covering aurah, tertutup semua-semua. So memang it is very crucial. Okay, uh, first one to take care of the image of the company, and second one to ensure the company practice the Sharia spirit, dia punya culture, the company culture, including dress up, dress of the staff, including any sessions of the Tazkirah every Friday. Itu pun the Sharia committee need to know and need to advise. Okay, not only on the products, not only on the business, but also the culture of the company. It is under the shoulder of the Sharia committee. Okay, so it is not easy to hold these responsibilities actually. Okay, uh, okay, it is important, kan? It is important to ensure the Takaful business is run memang purely Islamic. Okay, and then to actually to avoid the culture of kita nak jadi apa namanya, munafik, kan, munafik, okay, just on the products, but the behind the scene it is not comply with the Sharia. No, that's basically not that basically is incorrect lah, kan, because we have to practice Islam entirely, kan, entirely. Okay, okay, so the next one is endorsing. Have to move this. Okay. Okay, the next one is endorsing a rectifications measure to address a Sharia non-compliant event. In case the non-Sharia non-compliant event already happened. Okay, so what's the responsibilities of the Sharia committee? So the Sharia committee have to advise the company how to solve this. Okay, what they should do to rectify this issue and to ensure the Sharia non-compliant event is not happened yet. So if not, it will affect the business, it will affect the image of the business. So at the end of the day, it will affect the whole industry. Okay, so at the individual organizations or institutions, the Sharia committee have to play their roles, okay, to ensure every single thing comply with the Sharia and comply with the guideline provided by the Central Banks of Malaysia. Okay. I hope so far is clear. Okay. Okay, so standard, all these are the standards, meaning that is compulsory. Okay, so standard 10.3 highlight that the Sharia committee should be accountable for the quality, accuracy, and the soundness of its own decisions or advice. So to give advice, not just simply give advice, but it should be uh, they should give a justifications, and it should be based on knowledge. It should be based on uh, 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 current practice, and it should be based on the Quran and Sunnah for sure. Okay, so any decision made by the Sharia committee, okay, approve or do not approve, at the end of the day, they should be accountable for. They should be answered for the decision that is made and all the advice that been given to the company. So that is why at the first hand, the uh, the the process of selecting a Sharia committee, okay, first it is done by the company, and second one, it should be approved by the authority, by the regulator, not only at in the company level, but at the central bank level. They will give a final say whether this person is qualified to become a Sharia committee or not, because later on their decisions will be affected lah, and by themselves actually, right? So they should be ensure the decision that is given to the company is quality, having a quality, accurate, and soundness. Huh? Okay, and then standard 10.4, the Sharia committee must establish a robust methodology to guide its decision-making process. Okay, so the Sharia committee must take into account relevant business and risk practices in arriving at decisions or advice. Okay, so the Sharia committee, okay, themselves, when they want to make a decisions, they should prepare a methodology, meaning that what are the sources, how the decisions going to be derived, okay, if they are asked to make decisions. So the method how to derive a decisions, okay, for example, the first one, they have to know the overall story picture of that issue. If they have issue, if let's say the company propose a new products, so they have to ask all informations related to the products. Okay, and then after they know and really understand what are the issues that been discussed, after that they have to follow, okay, what are the sources, the Quranic sources, the hadith sources, the primary and the secondary sources, and whether we have made any decisions on this issue before this or not, and whether other scholars or SSC have come up their resolutions to this issue or not. Okay, so that these are the basically a part of the methodology how the Sharia committee derive the decisions on certain matters. Okay. Okay, so standard 10.5, where the Sharia committee has reason to believe that any Sharia issues or matter may affect the safety and soundness of the IFI. So the Sharia committee must immediately update the board on such matter. Okay, so the duty of Sharia committee is not up until during the meeting, or they deal only with the management, but they also dealing and have to deal with the board of director. Okay, so any issues that they are expecting to occur, especially regarding the Sharia issues, they have to immediately report to the board. Okay, so between the Sharia committee on the board of director, there is no border, tak ada. It is direct. So we can actually contact the board of director and discuss with the board director directly, okay, because we are independent, okay. Okay, standard 10.6, in cases where the SAC has not made any rulings on a particular matter, rulings here maksudnya tak ada decisions, no decision made previous or yeah, rulings, decisions or any guideline, okay. In case where the SSC has not made any rulings on a particular matter, or the Shariah committee is not able to arrive at a decisions or advice, maybe because of new issue regarding the technology, the smart contract, which is not discussed before. So the IFI shall refer to the SSC for a ruling in accordance with the manual rujukan Institusi Kewangan Islam kepada Majlis Penasihat Syariah. This Majlis Penasihat Syariah is the SSC lah. So any request for rulings or advice shall be communicated. So in case they found out new issues, okay, regarding to the online website ke, online portal, regarding to the related to the smart contract, okay. So they have rooms to contact and to discuss, to write to SAC, asking them to discuss these matters and come up with resolutions. So this is good lah. This is good. Meaning that Shariah committee or Shariah advisory, okay, they also can establish a link or relationship with Shariah advisory councils at Bank Negara level, okay, to settle or solve a certain issues that not yet been solved previously. Okay. Okay, standard 10.7, in the event where the Shariah committee decide or advise to place additional restrictions on the operations, business, affairs and activities of the IFI, okay, in applying the SSC rulings, okay, the IFI must document the deliberations and justifications of the Shariah committee decisions or advice. Okay, so this case is actually when there are issues and the SSC of Bank Negara have come up with rulings, dah ada dah resolutions, but the Sharia advisory at the operator level, at the company level, have a different opinions from the SSC, have different opinions. So whether the Sharia committee can uh, proceed or not with their decisions without following the rulings by the SSC. So in this case, yes, they can have different opinions with SSC of Bank Negara, but these are the process lah. They have to do this process. Okay, these are the how Bank Negara monitor the Sharia committee. Okay, in terms of in case of they have a different opinions. Okay, maybe stricter. Okay, so the first one, the company or the Takaful operator must document, kena record, ada document the deliberations and justifications of the Sharia committee decisions or advice lah. Maksudnya kena ada minutes when the Sharia committee make a decisions, how they derive with such decisions, and then justifications by the Sharia committee, why they have a different opinions from the SSC. Okay, and second one, ascertain the board views on the decisions or advice made by the Sharia committee. So after that, the company have to inform the board of director, okay, and that's their Sharia committee have a different opinion with the SAC. So they have to present to the board of director. So let's see what's the opinions, the say of the board of director on this case. Okay, so ensure immediate notifications to the Bank Negara of such decisions or advice. Okay, so they have to make this internal arrangement prior reporting it to Bank Negara Malaysia lah. Okay, so usually Bank Negara Malaysia, how they monitor the decisions made by the Sharia committee is through minutes of meeting. Okay, so every Sharia advisory meetings, the minutes of meeting need to be recorded, and they need to submit all minutes of meetings, by I think ada certain period lah, monthly or quarterly, to Bank Negara for them to ensure that the process of decisions making made by the Sharia Committee is done properly, is done thoroughly, and is done according to the Islamic law lah, according to the Sharia. So they want to see how the Sharia Committee derive such approval or decisions on certain issues. Memang Bank Negara will read all single words, sentence of the minutes of meeting of the Sharia Committee. So it is not just give opinions, decisions, and then full stop. No. The monitoring is done thoroughly by the central bank. If the central bank found that certain decision is made without justifications, without any discussions, they will call the Sharia Committee and to explain why you made these decisions without having any discussions. No record of a strong justifications why this decision is made. So they will call and ask. Okay. This one, Sharia non-compliant issues. So I think somewhere any IFI should ensure that any records of Sharia committee decisions or advice to be submitted to the bank. See, standard 10.8 of the Sharia governance policy documents, have mentions that all the justifications, all the discussions, all the minutes of meeting need to be submitted to the central bank. Including a rectification plan to address a Sharia non-compliant event, and is supported with key deliberations, rationale, and any significant concerns or dissenting views to the decisions or advice. So the deliberations by the Sharia Committee is very crucial. Is very concerned by the central bank, because they want to know whether the Sharia Committee have played their roles, have fulfilled their responsibilities to ensure every single things done or conducted by the business, Takaful or Islamic banks, is follow the Sharia. Task delegations in the event that the Sharia Committee delegates any of its responsibilities to any persons or functions. So in this case, because the responsibility of Sharia Committee to ensure every single part of the business, the punya activities, all the operations and risk management, every single things under responsibility of Sharia Committee. The SGPD give rooms for the Sharia Committee to delegate certain tasks which is not significant, ataupun certain tasks yang very not dia macam tak ketara sangat, that may attract the Sharia issues. Certain tasks they may delegate kepada Sharia department. Certain tasks can be delegated, but not all lah. So NIFI must ensure that the mandate, areas of delegated authority, and operating procedures are set out clearly in the Sharia Committee's Charter. Sharia Committee's Charter ni yang policy lah, internal policy. NIFI internal policies. So they have to clearly set out what are the tasks that have been delegated. For example, to monitor the campaign made by the company. So in this case, mandates or responsibilities to ensure all the campaigns collaterals ataupun anything related to the campaigns can be done by the Sharia team or Sharia department. So it is a minor task. So that can be delegated lah. And IFI must establish reporting arrangements. Kena ada reporting arrangements to keep the Sharia Committee informed of the work, key deliberations and decisions on the delegated matters. So once a few tasks is delegated to the Sharia team ataupun Sharia department tu, so they need to report when you need to report the deliberations ataupun this task, the delegation task ni, buat kerja apa-apa, they need to report during the Syariah Committee meeting. Okay, key deliberations and decisions on the delegated matters. So they have to inform. It is not like, okay, we do this task, but then it is stopped. No. Okay, so they have to list down. Okay, so this month, what are the tasks that you have done on behalf of the Sharia Committee? Yeah, but okay, for sure, the task of approving, the task of discussing the Sharia issues that very crucial, it will be done by the Sharia Committee lah. Okay, but very minor tasks, administrative tasks, for example, to do a review on the Islamic terms used in the contract. So basically, it will be done by the Sharia department. Okay, so in one institution, for example, one takaful operator, okay, so they will have a one dedicated Shariah department. We call SD, Shariah department. Okay. So under Shariah departments, usually we have a secretary ataupun secretary uh, apa nama dia? Secretary lah, okay, Syariah department secretary to the Syariah committee. So they will handle administrative staff to call, to message, or to issue invitation letter to the meeting. Okay, so under Syariah departments, they will also have other functions, Syariah research, Syariah audit. Syariah audit usually independent, not inside. Okay, basically Syariah research, Syariah review. Okay, Syariah research, Syariah review, and Syariah secretary. Okay. Okay, so even though certain tasks can be delegated to the Syariah department, but at the end of the day, the Syariah committee must remain fully accountable for the decisions and any ensuing implications arising from the delegated responsibilities. Because at the first hand, the task is responsibilities of the Syariah committee. Okay, so it is not under Syariah department. So that is why not all tasks, only minor tasks, administrative tasks can be delegated to the Shariah department, but still they have to report to the Shariah committee because Shariah committee will be responsible to overall tasks. Okay. Okay. Standard 10.10, a Sharia committee member must exercise objectivity in coming up with his judgment and be free from associations or circumstances that may impair the exercise of his professional objectivity. So the decision must be made professionally. It is not based on personal interest. It is not based on judgment, negative judgment. No. Objectivity based on the fact, based on the figure, based on the information that presented to them, and they are free to ask any additional documentations during the presentations of any proposal made by the company. Okay, so in fulfilling his responsibility, Sharia committee member must ensure that his judgment in arriving at a Sharia decisions or advice is not affected by his other professional commitment. Okay, because sometimes they have other commitments with maybe the company, other company, but the company is somehow macam related, something like that related to the company that advised. Okay. Okay, standard 10.11, a Sharia committee member must devote sufficient time to prepare for and attend Sharia committee meetings. Okay, they have to attend at least 75% of the meeting in a year. Usually, it depends on the company how many times of meetings they will have with their Sharia committee. Okay, the minimum that is set up by the central banks was once setahun 6 kali, 2 months sekali lah, once in 2 months. Okay. Okay, a standard 10.12, a Sharia committee member must ensure consistency in providing his views and must not act in a manner that would undermine the rulings of the SSC or any decisions of the Sharia committee that they represent. Okay, so meaning to say, okay, so when they give a views, when they give opinions, so they have to stick with the same views. So when they want to give you, they have to be careful. The view that they have to give must have justifications and the reasons. They should be able to explain why they view on that. Okay, view on certain things. Okay, they cannot be inconsistent. For example, this today approve. So when the company asks tomorrow, so they become they disapprove, they disagree with the proposal. Cannot be like that lah. So it is professional kan. So to be professional, so all the views and opinions and decisions made by the Sharia committee or individual committee must must based on the Sharia, must based on the professional practice. Okay, it's not influenced by any things lah, including influenced by the business, influenced by any interest. Okay, okay. Standard 10.13, every Sharia committee member must disclose the nature and extent of his interests that constitute or give rise to a conflict or potential conflict of interest upon the appointment, reappointment, or soon as there is any changes in his circumstances that may affect his status. So they must be free from any influence lah. Okay. And then standard 10.14, a Sharia committee member must continuously develop a reasonable understanding of the business and operations of the IFI that keep abreast with relevant market and regulatory developments. So the chairman of the Sharia committee must lead efforts to manage the Sharia committee's developmental plans. Okay, in order to derive a very proper and correct decisions that will influence, that will affect the business directions later on, the Sharia committee must always seeking for knowledge. Okay, they have to ensure that they been up to date with the current developments of the industry and the current needs of the publics and what are the issues that may that appear in the mass media or in the public currently. So they have to be up to date lah. Okay, and to be to understand the operations of the business very well. Okay, usually the business will prepare a in-depth training. Okay, training to the Sharia committee lah on their operations, on their products. Okay, to ensure the committee really understand, and from that understanding, that may assist the company, okay, to further to enhance the business. Okay. Okay, the process of determining Sharia opinion. So what is the process? So for sure, the chairman of the Sharia committee play important roles. Okay, to ensure all the members always always understand and follow the Sharia methodology lah when they make decision. Okay, so the chairman of the Sharia committee, in leading the Sharia committee, is responsible for the effective functioning of the Sharia committee. It is not a boneka. Okay, they have to ensure that all the members really function very well to the company. Okay, to the company overall. In fulfilling this role, the chairman of the Sharia committee must ensure appropriate procedures are in place to govern the Sharia committee's deliberations and proceeding. This include when the company want to propose a new products. So how the product proposal should like. Okay, so the chairman or the Sharia committee can request, if you want to make a proposal, please have a background of the proposal, the objective of the products, okay, and then the elements of the products, the benefit, and the Sharia justifications, why you want to offer these kinds of products, what are the importance of this product to the community or to the B40 group, for example, if they want to propose a B40 products. Okay, so the appropriate procedures, the correct formats of the proposal is very important. That may affect the decisions made later on. Because the Sharia committee, the committee itself need to understand very well. Okay, and second one, act as a direct liaison between the board and the Sharia committee to foster greater understanding between both organs. So usually the chairman of the Sharia committee will contact the chairman of the board of director. Okay, so they actually the connections lah through the chairman. Okay. Next is ensure that the Sharia decisions or advice are made on a sound and well-informed basis, including based on a robust decision-making methodology, which ensures that all business, operation, and risk implications are considered by the Sharia committee. Okay. Okay. So decisions and advice are made. How to ensure sound decisions is basically based on well-informed basis. Well-informed basis ni is crucial. Sometimes the company may present only the good things. They can just avoid presenting expecting Sharia issues related to certain matters related to the product. So the chairman, their role is untuk dive tips. Dia kena korek-korek, they may ask if there is any Sharia issues that may happen later on by providing this, or when we approve this, what will happen. Okay, so well-informed basis is inilah. Okay, the skill. Kena ada skill. This is a soft skills that should be acquired by the chairman of the Sharia committee to ensure the company tell everything, including the issues, the bad things on the proposal that they try to propose. And next is encourage healthy discussions, participations, and contributions, and ensure that dissenting views can be freely expressed. Allahu Akbar. Okay. Okay. So encourage healthy discussion, participation, and contributions, and ensure that dissenting views can be freely expressed during the meeting. And then lastly, ensure sufficient records of the discussion leading to formulations of the Sharia committee's decisions or advice are maintained. Okay, on top of the minutes of meeting, okay, the certain company, okay, acquires the Sharia department to compile all the decisions made by the Sharia committee. Okay, have a compilations of Sharia decisions, so that to make it as a book of reference to the business. So ada few of the companies made it. Okay, Alhamdulillah, that's very good effort lah. So that all the decisions made being compiled, and when they are having issues on certain things, they may refer to the decisions. Okay. Okay. Belum lagi ni. Okay, the process of determining Sharia opinions. Standard 1110 and IFI must provide the Sharia committee with access to all information required and ensure that the information provided is timely, accurate, comprehensive, and clear. So during the meeting, if the Sharia committee feel that the information that is shared is not enough, they may ask to add more information, and they may ask to call any related parties to explain further. So that is the authority ataupun power lah, that's the power that given by the Syariah committee. So we can call if we do not satisfy with explanations, with information that shared, we can ask so that we will make informed decisions. Okay. So an IFI must provide the Syariah committee with access to advice from third party. Okay, the third party expert on any matters deliberated by the Shariah committees. Okay, so standard 1113, while the board or senior management may provide useful insight on any business, technical or operational matters discussed during a Shariah committee meeting, so the board and senior management must not exercise undue influence that could hinder the Shariah committee in exercising objective judgment in its deliberations and decision making. So meaning to say, the board, the top management cannot influence lah. Syariah committee remain as independent body. Okay, independent body that advise and ensure the business comply with the Sharia. So let's say they receive the undue influenced by the committee to by the management, okay, to approve a certain product. So they may report it to the SSC lah or Bank Negara. Okay, yang ni lah, IFI shall ensure that clear and accurate minutes of Syariah committee meetings are maintained to record the decisions or advice of the Syariah committee. Okay, so I shared all of this because these are the main reference to the Takaful operator for them to operate the Takaful business. They cannot just put aside all the standard by Bank Negara, by the father. Okay, so the appointment, disqualification. Okay, so these are the appointment the Sharia committee. Who can be appointed to be the committee? The person is a Muslim for sure. The person has been assessed to have met the requirements specified in the policy document on fit and proper. Ada fit and proper criteria that fixed by Bank Negara lah. They have to follow that. The person is either Sharia qualified person or an expert who possess skills, knowledge and experience relevant to support the roles and responsibilities of the Sharia committee. Okay, so in determining the Sharia qualified persons under paragraph 12.1 bracket C, an IFI must assess whether the person fulfill the following: holds minimum bachelor degree in Sharia, possess knowledge in Sharia, demonstrate strong proficiency and knowledge in written and verbal Arabic with good command in the preferred language. Okay. Okay, so yang ni kita nak jawab yang ni. Okay. To whom Sharia committee is accountable and answerable? To whom? Okay. So when we discuss the Islamic financial industry, so the Sharia committee is accountable to the regulator lah, Bank Negara, the Central Bank of Malaysia, accountable and answerable if given that all the roles and responsibilities that been mentioned in the IFSA, Islamic Financial Services Act, because this industry is regulated, it's a regulated industry. Okay, so they should accountable and answerable to the regulator. Kan? But when we talk about from the Islamic perspective, the Sharia committee as a Muslim is given responsibility to ensure the business is compliant with the Sharia, which is the Islamic law. So they actually accountable and answerable to the Islamic law giver. Siapa? Allah. Okay, the creator of the Islamic law, to the Sharia, because this is the business Islamic, the Takaful is run Islamic business, and the business is following the Sharia law, Islamic law. So who provide the Sharia law is Allah. Kalau IFSA, Bank Negara, kan? So basically both lah. Accountable will be accountable in this world and also in the hereafter. So that is why they have to be serious, okay, and be responsible, okay, to fulfill their responsibility. Okay, so I relate this. Okay, the roles of the Sharia committee to stand firm in justice, to promote justice. Okay, so in Surah An-Nisa, verse 135, Allah mentioned, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qisti syuhada'a lillah, walau ala anfusikum awil walidaini wal aqrabin, in yakun ghaniyan aw faqiran fallahu awla bihima. فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلووا أو تعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. Okay. Okay, oh you who believe, be persistently standing firm in justice. Ni, buat ni. Kunu qawwamina bil qisti syuhada'a lillah. Jadilah kamu penegak keadilan. Penegak keadilan menjadi saksi kerana Allah, walaupun terhadap dirimu sendiri atau terhadap ibu bapa dan kaum kerabatmu. So Syariah Committee is not only to advise, but they becomes the leader that can ensure that become a witness juga, witness, saksi, witness to the practice of the Islamic business. Okay, the witness to the practice of the Takaful, how this business is practiced according to the Sharia. They become witness. They also become a leader that ensure a justice. Justice to ensure everything is done properly. Qawwamina bil qistu syuhada'a lillah. Bukan sekadar nasihat. It's not only advice and make decisions. Okay, but they have to stand. Let's say the proposal or the matters that presented by the company is not comply with the Sharia. They have to firm with their decisions, okay, not to approve something that is not comply with the Sharia. Not been influenced by the company, not been influenced by the business. Okay, yang ni mengenalah standing firm in justice. It may happens that the company may influence the Sharia committee because the company pay the Sharia committee for their service. They may influence the Sharia committee, but as independent body, they have to stand. Okay, lillahi ta'ala. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Okay, something that is wrong cannot be right. Okay, so the first one lah in Surah An-Nisa. Okay, and second one in Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 8. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu. Sama juga. Kunu qawwamina lillahi syuhada bil qist. Wala yajrimannakum syana'anu qawmin ala alla ta'dilu ya'dilu. Huwa aqrabu littaqwa wattaqullaha innallaha khabirum bima ta'malun. Wahai orang-orang yang beriman, jadilah kamu sebagai penegak keadilan kerana Allah ketika menjadi saksi dengan adil, dan janganlah kebencianmu terhadap suatu kaum mendorong kamu untuk berlaku tidak adil. Berlaku adillah kerana adil itu lebih dekat kepada takwa, dan bertakwalah kepada Allah. Sungguh Allah Maha teliti terhadap apa yang kamu kerjakan. So Syariah Committee, first they have to become orang yang beriman. Orang yang beriman, orang yang bertakwa. So how to ensure, how to practice the takwa? Bertakwa dalam decision making. When they want to make decisions, when they want to discuss a certain things, kena jadi orang yang bertakwa, jadi orang beriman. Okay, tegakkan kebenaran, then ensure the business is really comply with the Sharia no matter what. No matter what. Okay, no matter any reasons. Okay, they have to stand firm lah. Because not easy when we sit in the middle of the business people. Okay, they conduct the business and they have their own objective, profit maximizations. They keep pushing, or they keep informing that this is comply with the Sharia, but we found it is not comply with the Sharia. Okay, so how to stand firm with our decision? So Sharia Committee need to have a strong iman and taqwa. Okay. Okay, next is in Surah Al-Isra, verse 35. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ إِذَا كِلْتُمْ وَزِنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَحْسَنُ تَأْوِيلًا. Dan sempurnakanlah takaran. timbangan apabila kamu menimbang, dan timbanglah dengan timbangan yang benar, itulah yang lebih utama bagimu dan lebih baik akibatnya. So wa'auful kaila iza kiltum wazinu bil qistasil mustaqim. Nak buat decision, buat decisions with a correct mustaqim. What is the correct one? The correct one is something that is achieved the maqasid syariah. So when they want to make decisions, they have to ensure that the decisions is fulfilling the maqasid, the objective of the Sharia. Why the Islamic law affirm that? Okay, to consider the maqasid Sharia, okay, and then to ensure it is even balanced and just lah. Okay, okay. So next one, respect the custom and changes. Okay, so be up to date. Sharia committee, they cannot just they have to be up to date and be be considerate lah. Considerate means we not considerate to the matters that not comply with the Sharia, but considerate with the developments of the industry, the technologies development. They have to be up to date with that. Okay, so according to Ibn Abidin Ash-Shami, in Faqih Mazhab Hanafi, okay, ليس للمفتي الجمود على المنقول في كتاب الظاهر الرواية من غير مراعاة الزمان وأهله وألا يضيع حقوقا كثيرة ويكون ضروره أعظم من نفعه. Seorang mufti tidak seharusnya bersikap jumud terhadap nukilan pandangan terdahulu, okay, yang terdapat dalam kitab hanya semata-mata berdasarkan zahir riwayat tanpa meraihkan suasana zaman dan masyarakat setempat. So jika tidak, banyak hak-hak yang akan diketepikan dan membawa mudarat yang lebih besar daripada kebaikan. So as a Syariah committee, they have to look further. Tak boleh stick, tak boleh jumud. Okay, and according to Ibn al-Qayyum, okay, faslun fi taghyir al-fatwa wa ikhtilafiha bihasabin taghayyur al-azminah wal amkinah wal ahwali wan niyyati wal awaid. Fasal pada perubahan fatwa harus disesuaikan dengan perubahan zaman, tempat, keadaan, niat dan adat. So when Syariah committee they want to make decisions, they have to consider sekarang ni dah zaman apa. Okay, what's the periods now? We have industrial 4.0, 5.0. So be up to date with the technology, and then the decisions cannot be just stick from the past decisions. Kan? Al-ijtihad la yang kudu bimithlihi. So we can also make ijtihad, make a decisions, okay, based on the changes of the time, the changes of the developments of the industry. Okay, sikit lagi. Then another one is the critical roles of SC to be a knowledgeable faqih. Ibn Salleh berkata, "Thumma inna hazal faqiyah la yakunu illa faqiyatun nafs, lianna taswirul masail ala wajhiha thumma naqala ahkamuha ba'da istitmam taswir jaliyatiha wa khafiyatiha la yaqumu biha illa faqiyahun nafsu zu hazzin minal fiqh." Kemudian sesungguhnya seorang yang faqih tidak dianggap faqih kecuali memahami dengan sebenar-benarnya. Okay? Ini kerana gambaran sesuatu masalah mengikut wajahnya yang sebenar, kemudian dinukilkan segala hukumnya selepas mendapatkan kesempurnaan gambaran sesuatu itu, sama ada yang zahir atau yang tersembunyi, tidak mampu dilakukan kecuali orang-orang yang benar faqih. Maksudnya jadi yang faqih, knowledgeable. Okay, so Syariah Committee, they have to be knowledgeable, okay, understand, and always seeking knowledge, okay, and then when the times to make decisions, they shouldn't be like, okay, make decision based only one factor. No, they have to know the overall picture of that matter. Okay, so that will make them be a professional in making decisions lah. Okay, so I think that's all. Okay, that's all for today lah, for these sessions. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Hello, Doctor. Okay, thank you so much, Doctor, for a great sharing. And just summarize that what I can. I think I very very agree that the importance of HR advisory is for the public trust, and because we know that Takaful is not only product but also a business that promotes the system brotherhoods and also for dawah. And that's why Shariah advisory bodies play a crucial role in upholding the principle of Shariah and maintaining the integrity of the industry. And okay, before we start the Q&A sessions for the participants, please fill in the feedback forms that provide at chat box. Okay. And then so we can continue with Q&A session. Doctor, we have a request from the participant. Maybe you can get your slide just now, can Doctor?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. And we also have the question from the participant. Maybe they intend to become a Shariah committee, Doctor. Because the questions ask, can you share with us the experience during the interview sessions as a Sharia committees? And the question has also what are the professionals certificate that needs to have to become a Sharia committee?
Okay. Okay, thank you for the questions. A good questions. At least maybe I can share a little bit my experience. I don't have a much experience, just a few years, just a few interviews sessions. Okay, so first, when first thing is when the company have approached you to be one of their Sharia committee, usually the company will propose our names to Bank Negara Malaysia. Okay, and there will be two sessions of screening. Two sessions of screening lah. Okay, the first one we will be screening at the company level. Okay, call for the interview. It depends on the company lah whether their CEO will interview us or the chairman of the Sharia committee will do the interview sessions with the proposed Sharia committee. Okay, and the question also depends on the chairman, depends on the interviewer. Sometimes they would like to ask, they will conduct the interview sessions with Arabic. They want to listen whether we are fluent in Arabic or not. So they will also, on top of that, they will ask usually in fiqh, because Sharia committee need to be have knowledge in fiqh to make decisions kan, fiqh kan. So they will ask in fiqh usually which kitab, which book that you refer to, kitab apa biasanya guna, macam tu. And maybe other questions, maybe related to the issues that happen in the industry, whether we are apa nama dia, been updated, kita baca tak story about the industry or not. Okay, so if you want to become a Sharia committee, you have to be first fluent with the Arabic language, and second, knowledge in terms of the financial products, Islamic financial products. Dan baca-baca kitab-kitab Arab tu. Okay, second questions related to the apa tadi? Fasiha?
Professional certificate.
Professional certificate. Professional certificate. Now, it is not mandatory yet, but if you have, that is a macam additional point lah, certificate of CSA, okay, Syariah, certificate Syariah advisory. Syariah CSA lah, we call it CSA by ASAS, Associations of Sharia Advisory. Okay, so there is certificate, but not mandatory yet. Just it is encouraged lah by Bank Negara, because this certificate is given by the Associations of Sharia Advisor, and then the trainers were all the Sharia committee and the practitioner. Okay, on top of that, the main certificate is degree lah, degree in Syariah. They will look into it. Degree in Syariah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, thank you for the sharing. Doctor, this is my question lah. What are the key, the most challenges or the consideration that the Sharia advisory bodies face in fulfilling their what their roles effectively in within the Takaful industry?
Key challenges
Uh-uh.
key challenges is basically the Sharia knowledge. The Sharia knowledge. We have to have a strong knowledge on the Sharia, on the fiqh, jurisprudence, on the Al-Quran, Quranic verse and the Hadith. If we are Hafiz, then that will be good. Because whatever decisions and advice that we going to give to the industry, so it should be based on that sources, that the main source for the Islamic law. Okay, so we should advise them from the sources from the Quran and Sunnah. Okay, and second one, the challenges is a knowledge. The one is knowledge in fiqh, and second one knowledge in the operations on the business. Because we just put one foot kan, satu kaki je dekat ni, dekat industri. We are not working 24 hours with them. And most of the I will say that most of the Sharia committee is the academicians. We academicians kan. So experience working in the industry is very limited. So knowledge on the business itself lah. But never mind, okay, that knowledge we can gain by sessions, training sessions. Okay, the committee can ask to have a training with the business owner lah. Okay, the challenges. The second the third one is to standing firms during the meeting. Memang kena ada kuat iman dan kuat prinsip. Kena stand firm with our decisions. So we shouldn't be easily influenced by any people. Okay, ada members ke, the business owner ke, by the CEO? No, we should have our principles on the decision that we make, and that decision is made based on the knowledge that we have. It should be lah. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. We also have another questions from Mat Habibur Rahman. Recently, BNM has been looking forward to applying the concept of ta'awuns in Takaful from a broader aspect concerning this. He want to ask a broader application of ta'awuns. Can the surplus be shared with the Takaful funds of other Takaful operator? What would be the policies, practices, and potential internal safeguards that should be in place when providing mutual assistance to the other Takaful operator?
Okay. Basically, the principle of ta'awun tu is dah lama is long been a practice through when we practice the tabarruk, mutual donations, and it comes together with the mutual assistance. Kan, mutual donation and mutual assistance. Mutual donations, when the takaful participant, they pay the contributions and other participant pay contributions too. That is mutual donations. Okay, mutual assistance, it comes later when something happens to the participants. They actually assisting others. When something happens to them, others will assist them through the fund that they contributed earlier. That is a mutual assistance lah. But nowadays, when many people try to promote against this principle of mutual assistance, some parties they look at from the aspect of mutual assistance, where the takaful fund, it can be donations from other parties, not only from participant, but it can be from NGO, from the government. They inject the takaful fund, they assist lah, mutual assistance lah on that aspect. The wakaf masuk, sedekah masuk, zakat masuk, that is a mutual assistance. Ada certain parties look from that view lah. Basically, when that other sources of fund comes, okay, and then the target, the aim is to assist the groups of certain group of participant or people. For example, B40 group. where they are eligible to receive that money, zakat money, wakaf money. There is mutual assistance. Okay, and then another aspect of mutual assistance that asked here by our brother is mutual assistance in terms of underwriting surplus, the surplus kan. So the memang it's long time ago the issues of sharing of underwriting surplus ada certain Alfie do not agree that underwriting surplus being shared to the takaful operator. Because they said that the underwriting surplus belong to the participant, to the group of participant. They are the one that have right towards this surplus. And ada certain party that do not agree with any sharing. That surplus is belong to the risk fund, nor the takaful participant, nor the takaful operator, because the takaful participant already donated their money. They cannot take the money back. So there is one opinion lah. Second case, one opinion, Alfie. Second opinion, the one some scholars say it shouldn't be shared at all. And the third opinion, our Malaysians SAC, Shariah Council of Malaysia, okay, Ubi Negara, opine that the surplus should be shared between the participant or the risk fund and the takaful operator, because that will give them motivations to further in enhancing their business kan. Okay, so if you ask me, uh, even though SAC have come up with that, the takaful operator may take certain portions of surplus from the underwriting activities kan. Okay, but in the practice, okay, not products offer or follow these opinions. So the operator usually they will look into a certain product je. Ada certain product it is not suitable to have sharing of underwriting surplus, where the surplus will be put back, especially for general takaful lah, it is short term kan, and whether and the risk fund is not that huge, so any surplus will be put back or channeled back to the risk fund. That is okay. And certain products where it is the punya risk fund is quite stable and very huge, when there is a surplus they will share lah between takaful operator and the takaful participant. I think no wrong with that lah. Okay, that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So we have another question, Doctor.
Okay,
Normally, the Shariah committee members are not working in the office since they are appointed amongst the external parties. So how Shariah committees can play the role in establishing the Shariah compliance culture in the takaful operator?
Yes, memang. Because we are independence bodies. We are independence body. If we are working with them, we are no longer independent. We will depend on the company. So the decisions will be biased lah. So that is why it is purposely set up or purposely proposed by the central bank to ensure the independency of the Shariah committee, so they cannot become a worker. They cannot become a part of the company. They are independent so that they can advise and make decision freely without any influence by the company lah. It's mentioned in IFSA 2013. Okay, so how to ensure that we are not working with the company, but we can ensure the business is comply with the Sharia. For sure, we can during the meeting. Okay, basically every month we will have a meeting, when twice a month the meeting. During the meeting, we can ask anything can ask there, and they have to supply us with the information until we satisfy with that. Okay, so they have to report. They have to report, even though the activities done by the Sharia department, they have to report this month what they did. And then they have to report they have to present the report on the Sharia review process. We have a Sharia review review all the documentations, the product, review all the activities of the company. They have to prepare a report and review and come up with the findings from the review, whether okay these sections is comply or not. So the issue ada issue ke tak, okay comply 100%, 50%. Dia ada measurements on the review process tu. And then we have a Shariah audit to audit the business. The Shariah audit have to come up with the report, and they have to, in the report they have to come up with what document they have done the audit, and then which part, and then when. Quarterly report. So from that report they will share the findings. So from that finding we will know lah whether the business is comply with the Sharia. Okay, so not only Sharia review, Sharia audit, we have a Sharia risk assessment, and then Sharia research. If they have issues, they have to conduct a thorough research in details on that issue. I think, and then through the SGPD, Sharia Governance Policy documents, so we know that all parties should be functioning to ensure is comply with the Sharia, which including board of director, the top management, and the key function lah, Sharia audit, Sharia research, and Sharia risk tu semua functioning very well, okay, and to comply with the Sharia. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. I think this is last question at Q&A chat box, which is from Atira. Assalamualaikum, Doctor. Can I ask about the concept that applying in Takaful, and what is the difference with Takaful and insurance?
Okay, very good questions. Okay, so the concept of the takaful, okay, the contract lah, basically the contract of the takaful, as I mentioned before this, we have when we talk about the contract tu, among the participant, the contract is tabarruk contract. It is donation. The participant should know when they first put money ataupun pay the subscription. Okay, so they actually make donations. Okay, make donations, and they have to know that the donations that they contribute is not only meant for themselves and for their family. It is also macam normal donation we donate to other parties. So that's the main element that differentiate between the takaful and conventional insurance. Conventional insurance dia tak ada concept of donations, kan? But I think the awareness about the knowledge and awareness about this is very limited, and then not many people know about the concept of donation that practice in the takaful. So takaful agents tu memang play their roles lah to disperse the information, kan, to ensure their client, their customer know about the concept. Concept is bayar RM100, that is a donation kan, macam sedekah kan. So in conventional insurance, when they pay even sama je amount RM100, we not consider, or we not like the conventional insurance, they actually prepare ataupun practice the contract of selling, buy and sell. They actually sell the policy, that policy having a protection. So the customer, they buy the policy. It is the agreement is signed through buy and sell. Okay, buy and sell protection lah. Kalau in takaful is donation bagi. Takaful operator as agents, as wakil on behalf of other participants, okay, to conduct the business of takaful. Okay, so I just explain one element lah. Basically, we have three elements, riba, gharar, and maisir, kan. So when we relate to the contract of tabarruk dengan buy and sell contract ni, in the Islamic contract, when we perform a donation contract, it is not mandatory to inform what we want to donate and how much. Biasanya kan when we want to donate, we put money in envelope and without informing the other parties, the recipient, how much we want to give them, right? kan, berapa banyak kita nak bagi je, okay nah, I want to give this and this to you. So they will not, how much, no. So in this case, the donation contract is a unilateral contract. One party je, it's not necessary the other party accepts, kan ada ijab dan kabul kan, so tak perlu pun, bagi je, it is unilateral. So in this case, the subject matter, okay, what is the subject matter? Okay, so the subject matter in Takaful is the risk, and the risk is not happened yet, kan? So because of the nature of donation, the subject matter is not necessarily to be informed. So that is why risk is tolerated. The existence of risk, the element of gharar tu, uncertainty tu, is only minor in donation contract. Okay, so whereby in the conventional practice buy and sell contract, in Islamic contract, when we practice a buy and sell contract, the subject matter tu must be known. Kita nak jual apa? Nak jual kereta. So you should know kereta apa, where is the car is exist, and how much is the car, the price of the subject matter in buy and sell contract, Islamic contract. Okay, so in conventional contract, they are practicing buy and sell, and the subject matter is risk. Risk is not happened yet, so that is why it's deemed having elements of gharar or uncertainty in terms of the subject matter or the risk that is not happened yet. They are buying and selling of risk, of protections, death benefit, accident benefit, hospitalization. It is not happened yet, but they are selling and buying. So it is not comply with the normal or original Islamic contract, buy and sell contract. So that that is the element of gharar lah that happen in conventional, but in takaful, the gharar here is minor gharar because the nature of donation contract. So I hope it is clear lah, because we have very limited times. We have no whiteboard. If we have whiteboard, then I can explain these three elements maybe in details lah. Okay, thank you. I hope clear lah. Okay, ada soalan lagi ke?
Okay, thank you,
Rosna?
Doctor, for the explanation. We have another questions.
Okay.
From Filzah, which is, Assalamualaikum, Doctor. Committing suicide is considered crimes in Islam. However, there are natures that benefits include in Takaful product that provide coverage for the deaths of member resulting from suicide. So whether directly or indirectly, whether it occurs during sanity or insanity within the coverage period of 12 months from the effective date of the certificate. So what is the basis for including suicide as a benefit, considering it is an act that is not compliant with Sharia?
I don't know if there is any takaful product that cover the suicide. Basically, suicide is not covered by the takaful or conventional insurance suicide, because this business only cover pure risk. So suicide is not pure risk lah. It is risk that it is a pure and it is speculative risk. It happens not originally, kan? It is by conduct of the people. So usually suicide is not covered lah, because it is not a pure risk.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Just a soft reminder for participant. Please fill in the feedback form at the chat box again. Okay, and then maybe I can open to participant to ask our question directly before we end the session, please. Any participant? I think there's no question, Doctor.
Okay. No
Maybe
problem.
we can just give a simple conclusion to end this session, Doctor.
Okay, so Alhamdulillah. Okay, overall, thank you for the organizer, thank you for Siha, and thank you for all the participants, the attendees. I hope that my sharing today is clear on your behalf, and just in terms of in the context of financial industry or takaful industry specifically. Okay, the functions, the key organs that ensure the business is comply with the Sharia is not only the Sharia committee, but other parties that work together. Okay, the first one is board of director. Okay, and then the top management and other functions of the company together, together to ensure the business comply with the Sharia and always follow the standard and guideline by Bank Negara Malaysia lah. Of course, the main roles, the main sources that the industry should refer are the Quran and Sunnah lah. Okay, so thank you with that. So my apology for any weaknesses during my presentations. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for the great sharing for today. And thank you to our attendees also for joining us today to discuss or to share the knowledge in detail about Takaful. And we hope that you found this session informative and useful. So on behalf of the entire teams, I'd like to thank to our speaker for taking the time to share their insights with us, and we appreciate your contribution to today's webinar, Doctor. And I think we can end the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Assalamualaikum. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for the love.
Thank you, Doctor. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi